Archangel Michael says, "There are only 2 minutes left and I have been trying to reach your spirit through the weight in your chest, the stirring in your dreams, and the strange silence you've been hearing more often lately. Heaven has sent a secret courier to your doorstep, not with a package wrapped in paper, but with a spiritual delivery meant only for your soul. It is not something the world can touch or tamper with. I was instructed to speak to you before this courier arrives, and now I speak with all the weight of heaven behind me, because what is coming cannot be delayed, and what has been written about you must be opened now. Type 222 if you know God is with you. You have been wandering through these past days, perhaps even months, carrying questions deep inside your heart that no one else sees. On the outside, you appear to be holding it all together, doing what you can with what little strength you have left. But I saw you when no one else did. I saw you hiding your tears in the quiet moments before sleep. I saw how you kept praying in your thoughts even when your voice trembled too much to speak aloud. And now, the time for waiting has ended. The Lord your God has seen everything. Not 1 second of your pain, not 1 drop of your endurance, has gone unnoticed. The courier that heaven has dispatched is not just carrying hope. It is carrying restoration. You may not know yet what this means, but in the Spirit, it's already unfolding. The enemy tried to intercept this blessing, tried to distract you, tried to break you just minutes before the miracle could reach your hands. But he has failed. Because you didn't give up. You kept going. And that was enough to keep the doorway open for this divine moment to arrive. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if God has given you strength. What you are about to receive will not be in the form of a material thing first. It will come as a divine knowing, a sudden peace that overtakes your anxiety, a moment of clarity that replaces years of confusion. That is how God begins His miracles. Not with a loud trumpet blast, but with a soft whisper that enters your spirit and reorders everything that was once broken. And once you welcome it, once you open your heart to it, what follows will change your entire life. There are things about your journey that you still don't understand. I know that. There were people who walked away from you, who broke your trust, who wounded you deeply. But God never left. In fact, He wrote a promise over your life that no betrayal can cancel, no failure can erase, and no delay can deny. You were chosen long before you were aware of your own voice. And now, the heavens have decided to move in your favor. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. You will begin to feel something stirring inside you as you read this. That stirring is not anxiety. It is the breath of God rising inside you again. That's how the courier knocks. That's how heaven signals that the delivery is at your door. When your soul begins to feel warmth where there was coldness, and calm where there was chaos, it means the miracle is not coming, it is already here. Type 333 to welcome blessings. The angels have been fighting battles behind the scenes for you, even while you slept. There were moments when you should have been broken, but the Spirit of God shielded your mind without you even knowing. There were arrows aimed at your progress, but they shattered before they could reach you. Do you understand what that means? It means that God Himself stepped in front of what was meant to destroy you and took the blow. All so you could make it to this moment. This is not just a message. It's a release. As you open your heart to receive it, heaven begins to move things on your behalf. Relationships that drained you are being removed gently by God's hand. Opportunities that were delayed are being realigned with your name. Doors that seemed permanently shut are beginning to creak open with light peeking through. This is not a coincidence. This is the season God spoke about when He said you would be renewed. Even though you feel like your strength is nearly gone, this is where grace begins. Not in your perfection. Not in your effort. But in your surrender. When you say, "Lord, I cannot do this without you," heaven rushes in like a tide and carries you where you thought you'd never be able to walk. And I, Archangel Michael, have been watching your journey, appointed to guard you even in the storms. You were never alone. I stood at the edge of your battles, shielding what your eyes couldn't see. The world may not have seen your tears, but heaven counted every single one. And now, a turning point has come. That secret courier is close. And when it arrives, you will understand why you had to wait so long, why certain people had to leave, and why the pain you endured didn't break you, it prepared you. Because something better was always coming. And now, it's here. In the silence of your nights when you sat staring at your ceiling, wondering if life would ever change, God was already writing the answer. While you were wiping your own tears, God was planting the seed of your healing. While you walked through days of uncertainty, He was aligning the people, places, and moments that will now unfold like a carefully written story that ends in victory. This courier doesn't come with a letter sealed in wax. It carries something even more eternal, the fulfillment of every promise God whispered over you when you were at your lowest. Do not leave before the end, because this message is heaven's way of touching your life. You have lived through betrayal. You have been lied to, let down, overlooked, and misunderstood. And even in those moments, you tried to keep your heart soft. That alone is evidence of God's light still burning inside you. The enemy tried to harden you, to turn you cold, to make you give up on love, on trust, on peace. But look at you. You're still open to hope. You're still reaching for healing. That's the miracle that's already begun. You're not as broken as you think, you're just on the edge of a breakthrough so powerful, your soul already senses the shift. God is removing what has overstayed its season. You may feel confused, maybe even scared, but I need you to trust this. When God clears a path, it's because something is finally ready to come through. Some losses were actually protection. Some delays were actually preparation. Some endings were God's mercy dressed as heartbreak. And now, the courier brings what had to wait until you were ready, until your spirit was strong enough to hold what your heart had been crying out for. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. This is the time where miracles no longer linger in the distance. They come close. They step into your life. They settle into the places that were once empty. The shift has already begun. You'll feel it in the peace that suddenly washes over your mind. You'll sense it in the way old wounds lose their power. You'll know it when you look in the mirror and see not the pain you went through, but the strength that carried you through it. The truth is, heaven's timing doesn't work the way earth expects it to. You thought you were forgotten because things were quiet. But God was not being silent to hurt you. He was preparing the perfect moment to bring everything together in a way that blesses you beyond anything you imagined. And now, the 2 minutes are nearly up. The heavenly release has been authorized. And it's heading straight for you. I was sent to remind you of who you are. You are not weak. You are not a mistake. You are not behind in life. You are chosen, anointed, and deeply loved by a God who never changes his mind about you. This blessing coming to you now is not something you have to beg for. It has already been assigned. All you must do is open your heart and receive. So many times you thought you lost. You thought it was over. But what was really happening was the turning of a page. And now you are stepping into a new chapter. This one is not about pain. It is about promise. It is not about survival. It is about revival. It is not about what you had to let go. It's about what God is placing into your hands now. The courier brings peace into your home. The courier brings restoration into your relationships. The courier brings clarity into your purpose. What was once tangled and heavy is being lifted. The burden that seemed like it would never go away is being broken. And I stand here in the presence of the Most High, declaring over you, it is time. Heaven is moving now. You may feel overwhelmed. That's okay. That's how you know it's not from the world. It's from above. God's presence will start entering your day in small but undeniable ways. You'll notice divine appointments. Conversations that bring clarity. A message that speaks directly to your heart. A sense of direction returning to your spirit. That's the courier delivering what was already marked with your name. This is your appointed moment. Nothing is late. Nothing has been missed. It all begins now. Trust this. Trust God. Trust what your spirit already knows but your mind is just beginning to understand. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. There is no more room for fear now. It has followed you long enough. It has whispered lies into your thoughts, trying to convince you that you were not worthy of what God was planning for you. But it stops here. You have outgrown the chains of fear. You have walked through the fire of disappointment and come out carrying hope like a banner. That alone is victory. That alone is why heaven celebrates you even before the breakthrough is fully visible. The faith you kept alive in the dark has made room for God's light to finally enter. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. The secret courier brings more than just blessings. It brings restoration for everything you lost when you thought God was quiet. Time, peace, joy, strength. All of it is being returned to you in waves that will surprise you. And it won't come because of who you know or what you've done. It will come simply because God is faithful, and He has chosen this moment to reward your endurance. What was buried beneath worry and confusion is rising now like sunlight after a long storm. You will not remain in the shadows. You were born to shine. Every unanswered prayer you whispered, even the ones you forgot you made, are now being gathered like seeds finally ready to bloom. Heaven does not waste your waiting. It multiplies it. Every delay was a setup for a greater release. Every "not yet" you heard was actually a "hold on, something better is coming." And now, that better is here. You will no longer have to strive to prove yourself. God is speaking for you in places you don't even know about yet. And soon, what was behind the curtain will be laid out plainly before your feet. I want you to understand this with every part of your being. What God is sending to you cannot be stolen. It cannot be intercepted. No curse, no opposition, no hidden enemy can reverse what God has already signed in your favor. There is a divine shield around your life right now, and within that shield, the courier moves without delay, without fear, and without error. It knows the way to your heart because it was assigned to your spirit before you even took your first breath. You may feel tired, but you are not defeated. You may feel stretched, but you are not broken. The pressure you felt was not meant to crush you, it was meant to prepare you. Gold is refined in the fire. And beloved, that is what you are, gold. Precious, enduring, and chosen. And this is your refining season turning into your revealing season. You won't have to fight the same way you did before. God is taking the lead now. He's fighting for you while you rest in His promise. The road ahead will not look like the one behind you. What used to confuse you will now make sense. What used to feel heavy will now feel light. The people who left were meant to. The people who stayed will be blessed through you. The pain that shaped you will become the wisdom that guides others. Your story is not one of defeat, it is one of deliverance. And it's not over. In fact, it's only just beginning. This next season will bring laughter back into your spirit. It will bring color back into the places that faded. You will feel music again where only silence lived. You will feel the warmth of God's hand in places that once felt numb. You will see doors open without you needing to knock. You will find favor in places you never expected to be seen. This is the evidence of the courier's arrival. It won't always look like lightning. Sometimes, it will look like peace. Like healing. Like stillness that doesn't scare you anymore. You are about to see the fruit of every silent tear you cried. God is turning those tears into oil, holy, healing, overflowing oil. And that oil will anoint everything around you. Your finances. Your relationships. Your future. The oil that comes from your pain will be the reason others are healed. You were never forgotten. You were being made ready. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. Keep your heart open. Keep your spirit calm. The signs are already showing. And soon, what has been invisible will become undeniable. God does not play with promises. When He says He's sending something, it arrives. And now, it is arriving to you. You may begin to notice small changes around you, conversations that feel more aligned, sudden clarity where there was once fog, unexpected kindness from strangers, or a shift in your own thoughts where doubt once sat heavily. These are not random. They are traces of the courier's presence. They are signs that what was once delayed is now near. And as those signs increase, so will your awareness of just how deeply God has been working in your favor this whole time. For too long, you have carried questions like weight on your shoulders. Not just about your future, but about your worth. About whether God truly saw you. Whether He still had a plan for you. Whether the promises spoken over your life were ever real. And I am here to tell you, not only are they real, they are sealed. They are untouched by time, unharmed by delay, and unshaken by the storms you faced. They are alive, and they are now being released into your life through divine instruction. Type Amen if you believe God is your strength, and share this powerful video with 9 faithful souls to receive blessings and miracles. The courier brings not just restoration, but realignment. Everything that was bent by pressure, twisted by trauma, or strained by loss is being gently placed back into its rightful place. You will begin to feel like yourself again, not the version shaped by pain, but the version God always saw, even when you couldn't. This is not just recovery. It is a renewal. And the parts of you that felt forgotten are being restored with heavenly precision. There is something else I must tell you. God is going to give you confirmation. Not because you asked for it out loud, but because your heart needs it. You've been walking forward with faith, but your spirit has been tired. And so, in His mercy, God is going to show you undeniable signs. Something will happen, something small but powerful, that will make you stop and realize, this could only be God. That moment will be your confirmation. That is when you'll know the courier has entered your space. You are not too late. You are not left behind. I need you to hear this deeply. You are exactly where heaven expected you to be at this very moment. All of it has brought you to this point. And God is not looking at your flaws. He's looking at your faith. He's looking at the way you kept believing even when it didn't make sense. That's what heaven honors. Soon, you'll feel your strength return in waves. You'll wake up one morning and realize the heaviness is gone. You'll feel lighter. Not because life is perfect, but because your spirit has made room for joy again. That's what healing feels like. That's what divine delivery looks like. It arrives when you stop trying to understand everything and simply let God do what only He can. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. The courier brings grace in its purest form. It brings open doors that require no effort on your part. It brings relief from what has been tormenting your heart. It brings people who speak life into you. It brings chances you thought would never come again. And most of all, it brings you closer to God's heart, because every miracle is a whisper from Him reminding you how much you are loved. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. Even now, as you read this, heaven is watching. Not in judgment, but in joy. Because you're still here. You haven't given up. And that alone is a reason for celebration. You have no idea how many battles were fought for you behind the veil. How many times the enemy tried to trap you in despair, but heaven sent angels to stand guard. And I, Archangel Michael, have stood beside you in every unseen war. I have carried the fire of God's protection around your life, even when you felt most exposed. Now is your time to receive. To rest. To rise again, not as someone who barely made it, but as someone who has been crowned with glory from a place of brokenness. God is not waiting for your perfection. He is blessing your surrender. And in your surrender, He is releasing the kind of peace that no one can take away from you. You may not even fully recognize yourself anymore, and that's a sign of something good. Because the version of you that lived in survival mode is being laid to rest. That part of you that lived with guarded hope, that always expected disappointment around every corner, is no longer leading your story. Now, it is your healed self, your renewed self, the you that has been softened by God's love and strengthened by the fire of endurance. That version is rising, and heaven rejoices as you welcome this deeper peace. There are things about your past that no longer need to be understood. You have carried enough of those memories. You have turned them over in your thoughts for years, trying to make sense of what happened, why people acted the way they did, why things fell apart. But God is not asking you to understand all of it. He is asking you to release it. Because where He is taking you, those wounds cannot follow. They do not serve the next season. They were only meant to teach you what your soul was strong enough to survive. The courier brings more than gifts. It carries a heavenly release from what has been binding your energy, your thoughts, your emotions. Things that seemed normal to you, constant anxiety, feeling drained after simple tasks, the weight of regret, those were never meant to stay. And now, they are being lifted. You may feel emotional at random moments, not because you're broken, but because your spirit is making space for something new. Let those emotions flow. That's how God begins to cleanse. You are not being emptied out to be abandoned. You are being emptied to be filled with something eternal. Something stable. Something holy. The love of God is not just visiting you. It is anchoring itself deep into your soul so that even when storms come again, you won't be shaken the way you used to be. You'll respond with stillness, with calm, with quiet trust. That's what it means to be covered by heaven's peace. In the coming days, expect surprises. Not just in the form of events, but in how you feel. You may notice yourself reacting with more gentleness. You may catch yourself smiling for no reason. You may feel grateful for small things you used to overlook. That is God's Spirit restoring your eyes, giving you vision beyond your pain. And that's how you'll know the courier has done its work. You'll look at your life and see not just the scars, but the story of a God who never left you. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. Heaven is not far away. It is right here, wrapped around you, waiting for you to trust that you're no longer on your own. The spiritual shift happening now is not for others to understand. Some won't notice it. Some may not even believe it. But you will know. You'll feel it when the ache in your chest begins to fade. When peace replaces panic. When your hope stops trembling and begins to stand firm. Those are your signs. Those are the invisible fingerprints of the courier's touch. And as that happens, you'll start hearing God more clearly, not as a loud voice, but as a deep stillness that speaks louder than noise. It will sound like comfort in moments that used to make you anxious. It will feel like security in places where you used to shrink. You'll walk into rooms and not doubt your belonging. You'll stop overthinking your worth. You'll finally breathe without feeling like something is about to go wrong. Because, beloved, it's not going wrong anymore. It's going right. The heavens have declared a turning point in your life. I was sent to ensure you receive this message without interference, without confusion, without delay. And now, the declaration is complete. What was once withheld has been released. What was once in process is now in motion. What was once a hope is now becoming reality. The battle you've been in is ending, not because you fought harder, but because God stepped in. You may not know how, and you don't need to. What matters is that it's happening. And when you look back on this moment, you'll remember that something inside you shifted. That's how God works. Quietly, gently, but powerfully. You have long felt forgotten in some places. Even when surrounded by people, there was a part of you that felt invisible, unheard, misunderstood. And yet, even in that ache, you didn't turn bitter. You didn't let the loneliness steal your compassion. You continued to love. You continued to give. You continued to hold on, even when everything around you suggested you should let go. That kind of quiet faith, that kind of sacred endurance, does not go unnoticed by the one who created you. And now, heaven is responding with a kindness so personal, so detailed, you will know it was made only for you. The secret courier brings healing to places you stopped hoping would ever be whole again. It carries words that no one else could ever speak to you. Words that match the rhythm of your inner pain. Words that will settle like balm over old wounds and breathe warmth into frozen memories. You are not being visited just for comfort. You are being transformed. The things that made you ache before will no longer carry the same power. The grief will begin to loosen its grip. The sadness that used to linger for days will no longer stay without permission. Because where God speaks, heaviness cannot live. There is a clearing happening in the spirit. You may feel it physically as your body begins to rest differently, sleep more deeply, or feel lighter throughout the day. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the spiritual weight is being lifted. God is removing burdens that became part of your identity. He is removing shame, disappointment, and fear that settled like dust on your soul. He is restoring your sensitivity to joy. You will start laughing again without needing a reason. You'll feel lighter even in moments of silence. That is how divine healing moves. It enters quietly and transforms fully. Type 1919 to embrace healing. The courier also brings with it restoration of time. For the years you thought were wasted. For the seasons that felt like nothing grew. For the dreams that were delayed so long, you buried them beneath the routines of daily life. Heaven has not only remembered those dreams, it has preserved them. And now, God is breathing life back into them. You'll notice desires returning, not from ambition but from truth. You'll remember who you are and what you were made for. Not because you were striving, but because God is awakening the purpose He placed inside you before you were ever broken. This purpose will begin to show itself in moments that seem small. You may feel the urge to create again, to speak life into others, to return to something you used to love but abandoned when life became too heavy. Follow those nudges. They are the courier gently leading you back to the version of you God originally designed, the whole, joyful, fearless one. The one that pain tried to bury. The one that heaven is now bringing into the light again. Your life is not a mistake. And your path, though painful, has not been a detour. It has been a divine detour, one that gave you strength you didn't ask for, wisdom you didn't expect, and depth you didn't know you needed. And now that depth will serve you. It will become the foundation for the peace that's being delivered. Peace that is not shaken by change. Peace that remains steady even when everything else is shifting. This is why the courier had to wait until now. Because now, you are ready to receive it without fear. You are ready to embrace peace without wondering how long it will last. You are ready to receive love without questioning if you're worthy of it. You are ready to be blessed without guilt. God is not asking you to earn this moment. He is asking you to rest in it. To open the door of your heart and let it in. Heaven's blessings don't arrive through pressure. They arrive through presence. And you, beloved, are now walking in that presence. You don't need to make this happen. You only need to allow it. Trust that everything being removed is making room. Trust that everything being delayed is being upgraded. Trust that everything that feels unfamiliar is only new because it's better. You've never lived this free before. That's why it feels different. The mercy of God is the kind that doesn't just remove what harmed you. It also gently rebuilds the parts of you that suffered in silence. He doesn't just replace pain with joy. He teaches you how to rest in joy without waiting for it to disappear. And this is what the courier carries now. A life of stability. A soul rooted in peace. A heart that breathes deeply again without fear of losing what it gains. You have been through enough. God knows that. And now, He has called an end to the war over your life. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brain wave today. Type 222 if you know God is with you. There are things you've prayed for with trembling hope. You didn't even ask with full confidence because you were too used to disappointment. But those quiet, cautious prayers were heard just as loudly as the bold ones. Heaven never judges the volume of your voice, it listens to the honesty of your heart. And your heart, even when weary, has been pure. It has been faithful. And that is why the blessing has not been denied. It has only been maturing. And now, it is ripe. You are going to wake up in the days ahead and feel unfamiliar peace. Don't question it. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Let it show you who you are without the weight. Let it introduce you to the version of yourself that lives without dread. You are not who you used to be, and that's a good thing. You have outgrown fear, and fear knows it. That is why the enemy has been louder lately, because he's losing his grip. But he is too late. You have already been marked for more. The courier does not just bring a message, it brings movement. You'll notice it in the way opportunities begin to find you without striving. In the way your energy starts to return. In the way people you were meant to walk with start crossing your path again, not by coincidence, but by design. Heaven is not random. Every detail is deliberate. And everything God is doing now is tailored to your healing, your growth, your joy. You have been faithful with very little. You have loved through pain. You have spoken life even while grieving in private. And heaven has remembered it all. Your tears were not in vain. Your waiting was not empty. And now the winds are changing in your favor. The courier is a carrier of compensation, not in a worldly way, but in a divine, soul-filling way. What was taken from you is being returned with interest. Not just things. Not just outcomes. But clarity. Confidence. Security. These are the true gifts heaven gives when restoration arrives. You will look at your life and recognize the fingerprints of God on every corner. You will stop apologizing for your journey. You will stop doubting the beauty of your story. The very things you thought disqualified you are the things God is using to elevate you. Nothing was wasted. Every scar has a purpose. And now, the pain is no longer your identity, it is part of your testimony. There will be moments when the blessing feels too big. When it arrives, you may feel overwhelmed, unsure of how to receive something so good after so much waiting. But do not shrink. This is not a mistake. This is not too soon. This is not too late. This is exactly the moment heaven wrote in your favor. All you need to do is receive it. Let the tears fall. Let your guard down. Let your soul breathe. This is not just relief. It is reward. And I, Archangel Michael, was assigned to stand with you not just in your warfare, but in your peace. I fought beside you in the dark, and now I rejoice beside you in the light. This season is sacred. Guard it. Cherish it. Let it build you, not rush you. The blessing that stays is the one you make room for. So make room now. In your mind. In your heart. In your expectations. You're not going back to who you used to be. You're stepping into who you were always meant to be. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. The courier that was dispatched in your name did not come empty-handed. It came carrying healing so personal, you'll wonder how God knew exactly what to send. But that is the beauty of being seen by Him. There was never a moment you were hidden from His sight. He watched you hold on when it made no sense. He heard you cry out when no one else knew. And He recorded every silent surrender, every time you let go of control and trusted Him instead of reacting in fear. Now, He is responding to that surrender with blessing. What happens next will feel unlike anything before. Not because your surroundings will instantly change, but because your soul will. The way you view everything around you will soften. What used to trigger anxiety will lose its voice. The confusion that once filled your thoughts will quiet down. This is what happens when divine clarity steps in. It doesn't demand attention. It simply takes up space and replaces what once overwhelmed you. That is the courier's gift to you, not a loud miracle, but a lasting one. This new place you're entering is not just a new chapter, it's a new beginning entirely. You are not simply being restored. You are being rebuilt. And not from the broken pieces, but from a deeper, more eternal foundation. God is not placing you back where you were. He's placing you forward, ahead of where you would have been without the pain. That's what heaven does. It doesn't just return what you lost. It gives more. It gives better. It gives lasting. And now, that giving is beginning. You may notice your desires changing. You may feel less drawn to old habits, old conversations, old patterns that once felt familiar. That's not loss, it's growth. That's your spirit making space for what aligns with where you're going, not where you've been. And this growth won't exhaust you. It will energize you. Because it will finally feel like you are living from your soul instead of constantly trying to survive through your mind. There is a beauty unfolding now, one that doesn't ask you to explain yourself. You don't have to convince anyone of your transformation. The evidence will speak for itself. Your peace will speak. Your softness will speak. The absence of struggle where there once was chaos, that will speak louder than any words. And those who truly see you will recognize the hand of God on your life without you needing to perform, prove, or explain. God is about to surprise you. And not just in one area. Multiple areas of your life are being touched at the same time. What you thought would take years to heal is being healed in weeks. What you thought was a lost cause is being revived without warning. What you thought was closed off forever is being reopened with favor. This is what the courier delivers, not only healing, but acceleration. Not only answers, but divine timing. Everything that felt delayed will now make sense. And you will no longer question whether you deserve it. Because in this season, God is not blessing you based on what you did right. He is blessing you because of how long you stayed faithful, even when things were wrong. Your heart stayed kind. Your prayers never stopped. Your spirit stayed open. That is what heaven rewards. That is what activates the release. And you are living inside that release right now. What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. From this moment on, walk like someone who has been seen. Think like someone who has already won the war. Speak like someone who knows that angels walk beside them. Because that is the truth. You are not waiting anymore. You are receiving. You are not hoping in the dark, you are holding the light. It's here. It's already here. and nothing can reverse it. The secret courier, now closer than ever, carries not just messages from heaven, but movements. Movements in your finances, in your relationships, in your health, and in the corridors of your destiny. The answers that once seemed hidden behind layers of confusion and delay are beginning to break through. And they won't just arrive as isolated moments of clarity. They will flow like a river, one realization leading to another, one healing opening the door to another. This is not a momentary breakthrough. This is a flood of restoration. You are not just receiving a blessing. You are becoming one. God is turning your entire life into evidence that grace is real, that mercy still lives, that hope never dies. You are being lifted, not to show off, not to impress anyone, but to reflect the goodness of a God who never abandons His children. And that reflection will draw others closer to the light. Without effort, without noise, your peace will speak for you. There are things in your past you thought disqualified you. Places you failed, decisions you regret, seasons you wish you could erase. But I tell you now, heaven is not holding your past against you. It is holding your future in front of you. That future is not fragile anymore. It's strong. It's rooted. It's protected. And it's unfolding exactly as it should. The detours, the delays, the losses, they did not steal your promise. They prepared you for it. Now, the courier is releasing something specific to you, something tailor-made for the very part of you that's been aching in silence. You'll know it when it comes because it will feel like peace, not pressure. It will feel like freedom, not fear. And you will not have to fight to keep it. What God sends, He sustains. What God builds, no one can tear down. You will begin to feel your confidence return, not the kind that is loud or forced, but the quiet kind that comes from knowing who walks with you. You'll no longer need external validation. Your worth will no longer rise and fall based on how others treat you. Because your identity will be rooted in something deeper, something eternal. That is the strength the courier delivers, a foundation that cannot be shaken. This is your moment to let go of striving. To stop explaining yourself. To stop replaying the past in your mind, wondering if you could have done things differently. You did what you could with what you knew. And that is enough. You are not here by accident. You are here by grace. And that grace is enough to carry you into everything God has prepared. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength.